Welcome to Daggers and Shadow Daddies.
We're your hosts, Ryan and Adriana. Close your legs and open your book. Let's get to reading.
Warning, this podcast contains explicit content.
It's about to get nasty.
It's all vibes and no facts.
Let's get to spoiling.
Actually, there are spoilers if you plan on reading this book, so spoilers ahead.
Welcome to Adri's Harlequin Adventures.
No, more. Everyone jokes about, oh, did you know that girls are reading full-blown smut and sex scenes while they're out and about? When you see a girl just sitting there reading in a park, you want to know what she's reading? It's the nastiest thing ever, right?
Sometimes it is.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
I've been that girl, okay?
your grandma gave us a ton of books, and I thought it would be so fun to see what has grandma been reading. The one that I went through today is Undercover in Amish Country.
Dun dun.
Nobody needs to have read this. Ryan has not read this book. I'm going to retell him and talk to him. And you also read some books. What have you read this week?
I read Infinity Blade and
Okay.
Infinity Blade Redemption and A Touch of Darkness.
Wow, you went through 3 books this week?
Yeah, 80% of the last one.
Are they all romantasy?
No, maybe Infinity Blade is not romantasy. It's a book based on a video game, I think. Near as I can tell, that's the way it moves. But Brandon Sanderson wrote them. They're short.
Oh, all of these are written by him.
No. 2 of them, the Infinity Blade books and Infinity Blade Redemption, are written by Brandon Sanderson. And A Touch of Darkness is written by Scarlett St. Clair.
That's the one that I looked up on Fable, and that's a romantasy.
Yeah, that one is.
So at this point, you're no longer a victim to this book club I forced you into.
You told me to read stuff while I was gone. Little backstory. I'm gone for a week. And we didn't want to get started right into the 3rd book in our series because it's very dense.
It is, and I just
And-
wanted a week off getting caught up on some things.
Yeah,
And-
and that's totally fair. But I was still bored at work, and I'm like, I want to have something to talk about. So I went through a few books.
Do you want to talk about yours first?
Mine's going to be really, really short.
That's just fine. Tell me about it.
The book that I read was basically a retelling the story of Hades and Persephone.
Oh, right. Yeah, you said you wanted something with Greek mythology.
Yeah, and I thought that would be kind of fun. That's a much more poorly written story.
Oh,
Just from the aspect of plot holes. Plot holes galore. It was entertaining, to be honest, but holy Christ on a cracker. Persephone is a secret goddess. I'm going to do some real quick run through of Greek mythology and just my understanding of it.
okay.
Okay, so your 3 primary gods are Zeus, Hades, and Poseidon. From those, you have Demeter. I'm not sure how you would pronounce that, but Demeter.
Demigods, pretty much, right?
No. They're all gods still. They're not half human. But Demeter is the god of like plants and growing things, I believe. Gardens. And she probably has other things too. I don't remember exactly what her thing is. Anyway, her daughter is Persephone. Persephone is the goddess of spring. And within this book, she has no power. When she touches flowers, they wilt and die.
Oh,
Right. She meets this girl who's her roommate. She's in college, and she's pretending that she's not a god
oh, she does know
goddess.
she is. And
Correct.
She just, okay.
because she doesn't have any power of her own. She doesn't have her magical gifts. She just drains the life from plants and living things that she touches. Seems to be her whole bit. Hades has a nightclub called Nevernight, or Always Night. Some nonsense like that. It's a big, exclusive club. This girl is studying in college, and she starts an internship tomorrow for a news place as a journalist. Internship, journalist. I want to point those 2 things out because those are things that are immediately forgotten by the author.
So she's like a young 20s, and her uncle has a nightclub?
Not her uncle, Hades. They are not related
Wait.
within this story.
Oh, okay.
Within Greek mythology, how it normally plays out is Hades falls in love with Persephone. He takes her away.
Oh, yeah, that would
And
be a little
Demeter-
messed up.
Yeah. Which, again, don't get me wrong, in Greek mythology, it sort of also makes sense because Zeus routinely fucks his daughter's sister people. It's a very free love society. But Zeus falls in love with Persephone and kidnaps her into the underworld. They
AKA
have
the
a
nightclub?
baby. Nope. Nope. These are different places. I'm just giving you a quick overview of actual Greek mythology.
Oh, I thought the story was
And
going
they
to
have a
still
daughter.
follow along.
It kind of does.
They have a baby in the nightclub.
So Persephone, nope. Persephone. Well done. You're not that far off. I actually only get 80% of the way through this book. They do have a daughter in Greek mythology, which starts with an E, and I cannot remember her name now. But she ends up being a trickster goddess. Basically, she's
You
female
act like you're going to
Loki.
get quizzed on this. I'm not quizzing you. I don't know anything.
Oh, me neither. That's the thing. I know just enough to know that I don't actually know anything. Anyway, as a celebratory night, her friend manages to get tickets so that they can get into the nightclub called Always Night or Never Night or whatever. And she's like, fine, reluctantly goes with her buddy. They immediately run into this man named Adonis. Adonis is gorgeous.
Of course.
Her friend is like, oh my God, I'm in love. He's tasty. And of course, Persephone's like, yeah, okay, he's super hot, but whatever. And she looks up and she sees a man that makes Adonis look like a piece of shit. Who is it? Hades. He is pure sex appeal. And she eyes him and he eyes her. They see each other from across the club. She's like, who's that? And they're like, that's Hades. Why is he up there? Oh, because he goes into his office and makes deals with mortals. She's like, oh, yeah. He's always elusive. Nobody's ever allowed to write news about Hades because he likes privacy.
Stop it.
Just wait, yeah. He likes privacy. And she's like,
nobody's bold enough to write an article. Secretly goes and does a little blog post about him later.
oh, no, it's so much worse than that. Hades eventually is like, hey, what's up, girl? What are you doing here? She's like, what are you doing here? He's like, do you want to play cards? She's like, I don't know how to play cards. He's like, I'll teach you. We'll play a game.
I could teach
I
you,
win.
but I'd have to charge.
This is basically it. He's like, we'll play a game. I win, you answer a question. You win, I answer a question. Sort of how it's all laid out. She's like, so why do you ruin mortals' lives?
Wow, she really gets to it.
Right away. And he's like, I don't. I offer them an opportunity. If their vice is drinking, all they have to do is not drink and they win this wager. And she's like, well, it seems like you're just having them do things that are impossible because addiction is a disease.
Not
Hold on.
impossible.
It gets interesting in the sense of the way it's addressed is she's like, alcoholism is a disease.
Yep.
Not just a state of being.
Yep.
And he's like, well, then they're probably not going to win, but some of them do, so fucking explain that one to me, smart bitch. Like,
Oh, fuck.
it's
And
not
he's, like,
quite how it
falling
goes,
in
but
love with her this whole time.
yeah, it's pure lust. Initially, it's not love.
That sounds like
Pure
Hades.
lust. Well, and he's very, very selective. Bear in mind, her mother wants her to be secretive. Nobody's supposed to know she's a goddess, so she's glamored, but her mom has to keep filling her up with magic so she can be glamored.
Oh, so Hades thinks she's just a puny little human?
No, we learn this later. They have their whole interaction. Turns out she gets this mark on her, and I can't remember where it is. It's somewhere that's easily hit, but she gets a mark on her, and she's like, the fuck is this mark? He's like, oh, you lost the game. So now you're in this bargain with me.
What?
Yep. And she's like, the fuck? That's manipulative, and you didn't bring this up at any time. He's like, well, you didn't ask, so I didn't say. But that's how this shit works. And he's a little bit of a dirtbag about it.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, well, what is it? What is the wager? And he's like, you have to create life in the underworld.
You have to what?
Create life in the underworld. Bear in mind, her
Oh my
mom
God.
is the goddess of plants and things. So she's like, how will I grow a garden in the underworld? I
He's
swear to
like,
God.
that's not what I meant.
He just says, he's like, why don't you come to the underworld, take a tour? So they do, and she sees this incredible garden.
Wait,
Beyond
she
anything.
goes down that she goes with him?
Mhm.
Why?
Well, because he's Hades and she's stupid, and if she doesn't win
By
this bargain,
herself? She didn't bring a girlfriend with her?
first, no, mortals should not be let down in there. He's like, how did you know? Or he's like, Lady Persephone, and she's like, how do you know that I'm a goddess? And he's like, I can smell Demeter's magic all over you. I know her magic. He's like, I was born before her. Blah blah blah. And she's like, well, if you fuck with me, my mom's gonna beat your ass. And he's like, first of all,
Like to see your mom try.
That's
Why the fuck
basically
did you
it.
come down
he's
here?
like, she is a very powerful goddess, but I'm me. So let's not fucking worry about it. I'm way tougher than your mom. And she's like, fine. He's like, so come down and look at my garden. And she's like, okay. And they go off into the underworld. And she sees this beautiful, vast garden. And I think the idea is it's an illusion. but he's so good at illusions that you can smell it, feel it. For all intents and purposes, it is real. But she's like, I'm going to get some magic seeds and I'm going to grow some plants down here. That way, haha, I'll win our bargain and
Has
my
she
soul
ever
won't belong
asked
to you.
if there are other bargains that they're engaged in? Because if you didn't know about the first one, he's like, you didn't ask. And then she's like, well, tell me about it. She didn't ask, are there other ones that I'm not aware of?
No, don't worry.
Until she saw the mark, she's just...
Yeah, don't worry, that doesn't come up. Also, I would add, it gets even better. She goes to her first day at her internship, and her boss, old J. Jonah Jameson, sweetest man on the planet, he's like, hey, we're so excited for you to be here. If you just went to journalism school and you got your first job, your fucking boss is not going to be that excited to see you. Nope, hasn't worked there yet. And she sees a familiar face. Who is it? Adonis. He works there, and he's like, hey, what's up, girl? You didn't tell me you were working here. He's like, you didn't ask, and I didn't know you were going to work here. It just didn't come up, blah, 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 blah. Her boss, J. Jonah Jameson, I can't remember his name, starts with a D. We're going to call him J.
Sounds like he keeps hiring beautiful people.
Well, I'm sure there's a few uggos, but, you know, like you said, they all have potential to be a weatherman. Point is, he's like, no, it's up to you what you do with your internship.
I don't even remember what episode that was.
Doesn't matter. They're all training to be weathermen. Since you're new here.
Adonis is the weatherman.
Aren't they all?
We can't all be Anderson Cooper.
I love you remember that bit too. You're killing it. So he said, you can just get coffee if that's what you want to do for people, or you can write articles. He's like, the one thing you need to remember is we are a magazine or a paper of truth. None of this bullshit about relationships and all this nonsense.
Oh, not
we write
tabloids.
About facts. Yes. Yeah. We are the New York Times. Basically.
We're serious.
Yeah.
Did they have a history of writing bullshit that they need to clarify?
No, but there is a successful magazine called like the Divinity Diaper or some bullshit that is all about gods, and it's like TMZ but for god shit.
Oh, okay.
So
wow, could you imagine if there really were Greek gods and all their fucking around and cheating and all these affairs and secret pregnancies? And then you would obviously
I can imagine it because it's what happens in this book.
Oh,
I read all about it.
Turns out it's been addressed.
Yep. But don't worry, she also gets her own office. Incredible, as an intern. And she's decided what she's going to write about.
Oh, she makes her own choices.
Yeah, he said you can get coffee, you can write about anything you want because you actually run this company as our brand new intern.
She's so beautiful. That's all. That's just pretty privilege.
Yeah, she's something else. She's like, you know what I'm going to write about? Hades and all the bullshit he pulls with people. Because he's an evil, manipulative motherfucker, and I'm going to nail him for it. Not in the fun way, initially, but she also feels that way. Because it's animalistic, her desire. So she's like, get in the car. What's our handsome fellow again?
Adonis.
So get in the car, Adonis. He's like, okay, where are we going? Bear in mind, Adonis has been there.
So he does as he's told by her.
Yeah, he's basically her assistant now.
Wow, okay.
Which isn't really how it works, but it is for the purposes of this.
He's doing as he's told?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think, is he working for her mom?
No, we're going to get there. First of all, her mom does have all kinds of little nymphs and fairy sprites and shit that are keeping an eye on her, and they're glamored, but she can always kind of tell there's something about him that's a little off. And she's like, nah, you work for my mom. You work for my mom. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway.
My own woman. I write my own articles.
So she goes to
my own
Hades,
office.
and she goes to knock on the door. The door is locked. The whole club is locked down, which makes sense because it's a business that is closed. And Adonis is the one who knocks on the door, and nothing happens. He's like, nope, sorry, they're closed. And he's a little afraid because, you know, fucking Hades is in that place. And she's like, well, let me go try the door. Boom, the door unlocks and opens for her. And she's like, well, how convenient for me. And Adonis is like, what? That door was locked. And she's like, no, you just didn't pull hard enough. They go inside. There's a large troll orc thing there. And she's like, I'm here to see Hades. And he's like, you don't have an appointment, blah, 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 blah. She's like, I don't need one. You tell Hades I'm here.
I like how she has a deeper voice than the troll.
Yeah, she's scary. Anyway, so she's like, I'm here and you tell him. And he's like, he doesn't want to see you because you're just a girl. And she's like, he does. And the troll grabs her and then she lets her glamour go on her eyes, and he can see her eyes are the eyes of a god. They're glowing bright yellow.
What a cheater.
Hold on.
Using
We're not even there
her
yet.
goddess privileges. Get out of this situation.
It gets crazier. And he's like, oh, fuck. So he drops her, and he's like, I'm very sorry, Ms. Persephone. I was unaware, but she's like, shut the fuck up. I don't want my buddy to know that I'm a goddess. Like, I'm undercover. And he's like, I'm so sorry. And then Hades comes up, and he just forms, and looks, okay, it is brought up that she's like, what are you doing? He looks so relaxed and blah, blah. He's like, I was getting ready for bed, because it's 1 PM, and that's when he goes to bed.
It makes sense. He owns a nightclub.
Okay, it does make sense. I'm on board with this part. She's like, I need to talk to you. What the fuck is up with this mark on my hand? He's like, we'll fucking talk about it later. Don't worry about it. And he has a female assistant who is, Hades has a female assistant who's beautiful, but she's some sort of demonoid monster lady, but she's a smoke show evidently. Adonis is impressed and scared. The orc guy.
Really?
He's very terrified because fucking Hades, right? Like, how would you not be? This man is famous for being elusive and kind of an asshole. The orc guy immediately is like, Master, I'll accept whatever punishment. I put my hands on her. And Hades is like, I'll punish you later. And she's like, he didn't know who I was. And Hades is like, it doesn't matter. You're still a woman. I don't let my people touch women like that.
Uh-oh. Did she fall in love with him with that?
A little bit. And also in love with him because...
you chewed me out over when Liam, Sam Kyle, was like that with Gabby. I'm like, she's going to fall in love with him. You're like, that's fucking dumb. They just met. Well, here we are with this.
I stand by exactly what I said the first time. This is equally stupid. So she allows him to be punished, but she's like, please grant him some leeway on this. I was clearly pushing buttons. I shouldn't have. He's like, I'll punish him later, but I won't murder him then. Fine. The assistant lady's like, hey, you've spent enough time with her. You have so-and-so ready for your meeting upstairs. I know what you're thinking. Wasn't he just getting ready for bed?
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. That's exactly what I was thinking. And he's like, well, I must go. Duty calls. And he goes off to have this meeting with somebody whom he's evidently going to have a deal with. So he wasn't really getting ready for bed. It was just an excuse for him to look sexy and sleepy. I don't fucking know. She leaves. She starts writing this article about how he's manipulative and he's a piece of shit and blah, blah, blah. Her mom is like, hey, you got this job. You don't need a job. You're a goddess and the daughter of me. She's like, I want my job, blah, blah, blah. I just need to finish classes. Finals are in 3 weeks or some bullshit. And her roommate's like, oh, I forgot to tell you, your mom called and I talked to her for quite a while. Or she stopped by and I talked to her for a while. And she's like, did she go through my room? She's like, well, she walked in your room to kind of see what was up. She's like, oh no, she put spyware in my room. So this bitch is checking out her room. Perhaps her mom did or did not put in spyware. We don't know. The friend is like, oh, you work with Adonis. Oh, Adonis invited us out to go to the club again. And she's like, fine, I'll go to the club again, but only because of my journalistic integrity.
Hang out with him.
Yeah. And she goes in there. He somehow goes into this whole spiel about how he grants her access to the underworld. He has her favor now. And she's like, okay, fine, whatever. God's favor, great. So she can go to and from the underworld. She meets all kinds of lovely people there. She sees that the souls are actually really happy. Some other goddess lady of death or something pulls her from touching the river Styx because that's where souls are.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's an issue.
Touch that.
Yep, there's all kinds of things happening down in the underworld. And this lady is very sweet. And she's like, oh, hello, you're so pretty. What are you doing here? And she's like, oh, I'm here because I need to make a deal with, or I need to make some life down here. And I'm going to have to plant some seeds. So I'm looking for a good spot. And she's like, oh, not to worry. You can do this. But also you're aware the only way to bring life down here is not to plant sticks in her or plant seeds, and our main character's like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, you could fuck him and make a baby.
That's easier.
And she's like, yeah, you can just make a baby. And she's like, with Hades? Don't be absurd. No way. And she's like, I'm just throwing it out there as an option. Pregnancy's real. And she's like, oh, you silly bitch. No, I'm going to plant magic seeds. So she plants some magic seeds.
Jack and the Beanstalk.
Dude, it's insane. And she's out there. She looks over. What does she see? Hades is playing with orphans. Oh my gosh, he's such a lovely...
No.
Yeah, he's a lovely fellow.
That they were real orphans?
Yeah.
How do we know that they're orphans?
Because their parents aren't dead yet. These are dead kids. It's the underworld. There aren't just people born into the underworld. These are human beings who have died.
He's just playing baseball.
Basically, he's just throwing aborted babies back and forth.
Ryan.
Okay, never mind. Not funny. Too far. He's throwing baseballs. Anyway. Oh, then he has court. He holds court, right? And people come and ask him for things. And this fellow, Othello, I believe is actually who it was, is like, hey, I need you to bring my wife back to life. Take my life for hers. And this is a living person, right? He's like, I'll trade you. And Hades is like, nope, because you're asking for this based off of selfishness. And our main character is like, the fuck are you talking about? That guy, you should bring him back, bring his wife back to life. You have the power. And he's like, no, I have influence. I don't decide who dies and who lives. I have influence because I negotiate with the fates. The fates are who determine who lives and who dies. And it's an exchange, it's a relationship, but no, I cannot just grant him that. Otherwise, I'd owe the fates one. Anyway, they go back and forth, and that's when she writes her article again, like, this guy's a fucking monster.
Oh,
she hasn't published it yet.
Oh, that was my next question.
No, she's still writing the article, right? It takes time. She's building this up. She walks in, she's bullshitting with her boss now. She goes to work. She's gone home, I should say. Now she goes into work. She's bullshitting with her boss. She comes out. Who do you suppose is standing over her computer reading this?
Her mother.
No.
Adonis.
Yes. Adonis is reading this. He's like, oh, what a lovely article. And she's like, what the fuck are you doing looking at my computer? Get out of here. And he's like, whoa. I just wanted to see what was up, just to get a little bit of the scoop, see what you had going. And I think you're on the right path. This looks pretty great. And she's like, well, it's not done yet. But I saw him playing with orphans and I'm kind of horny for him. She doesn't say that part to him. That's kind of internal.
Yeah. She's got a thing going.
Yeah. And he keeps kind of like growling and touching her.
Oh.
And stuff. Not Adonis, the Luciferian character. Hades. She gets done at work. She's like, I'm not going to publish that. I'm going to rewrite this. Not to worry. I'm going to go to this cool dinner thing with my buddy. The company is sending her to a gods gala type thing. It's a dinner where all the gods go.
As an intern?
Yes. No, you forgot. She's not just an intern. She is actually the greatest reporter ever. They just don't know it yet.
She hasn't even published an article yet.
Correct. Not one fucking thing has happened yet. And so she's trying to get ready for that. She's like, oh, I'd have to do my hair and whatnot. Maybe I won't go because my mom will be there. And she's like, well, I can go talk to my new goddess friend in the underworld and maybe she can cloak me in something so my mom won't recognize.
But she still has her mom's cloaking on it for...
She uses her mom's magic to glamour herself, yes. So now she needs somebody else to have a special magic that her mom can't see through. She's brilliant like that. So she goes back into the underworld. She's checking in on her garden because she's still watering the plants and really looking things over. And it's not sprouting yet. And her friend's like, don't worry, you could get knocked up and this whole thing would be fine. And she's like, no, please. No, I can't have that. She then...
What are the consequences if she doesn't get something to grow in there? She just has the birthmark?
No, Hades owns her soul. Think of it like the devil went down to Georgia style.
Right.
And she has an immortal soul. So
but
that could also be a problem.
She's still going about life the same, it sounds like.
Her body would no longer have a soul. Her soul would be taken from her body. She'd be a husk.
Has it already been done?
Has what been done?
The soul been taken from her?
No, not until she loses the bet.
Well,
she retains her soul until she would have to pay, as in if she loses the wager.
Is there a deadline on it?
Yes, I think it's 30 days.
Oh, okay, that's the
maybe
problem.
It's 3 months.
You would just for eternity just keep going down and try watering this seed and just go about your day.
There's a deadline. I believe it's 30 days. Maybe it's 3 months. It's something odd. She and Hades have another interaction where it's really close and sexy and they kind of like breathe on each other a little bit. And she's like, I'm going to climb this motherfucker like a tree.
She's like, maybe having a baby isn't so bad.
Right. Her friend is like...
But if you have the baby to get out of this deal, he's still the father of your child and you're still tied to him.
Well, I don't believe that necessarily the idea is to have the baby in order to win the bet. The idea is that they would be in love and happen to conceive a baby. Would be sort of where this is going to go.
All right.
So she's down watering her plants. The lady's like, well, when is this gala? She's like, oh, it's like a week from now. And she's like, don't worry about it. I'll handle it. I'll get you your stuff. Not to worry. She's like, well, it's a masquerade ball. I don't know if that makes it more complicated. And this lady's like, no, it's pretty fucking handy, actually. You guys all get to wear masks and shit. That's going to be much easier for me now. I can make you clothes that cloak you from your mom. Wonderful. She goes back up to the real world, or the overworld. In the overworld, her friend is like, good news, Adonis got us tickets to go to this other club run by Hephaestus, I think, or I don't remember which one it was. All of the gods have businesses that are consumer-driven and very, very successful.
Consumer-driven businesses.
And They go to this.
Yeah, because I
club.
would assume that they would be more investor types over time.
No. These guys are owner-operators of singular businesses. I do not believe they franchise them either.
It doesn't sound like it.
I don't know what it costs in these places. I know things are going well for the gods. Hades is also the god of wealth in this. He's the wealthiest of all of them. They go to this other club. It's her and her friend. She doesn't know that Adonis is going to be there, but at this point, she kind of mistrusts.
Got the tickets.
Well, she's unaware of that at this point. Her friend is like, we're going to this club. I got an inn. The inn is Adonis.
All right.
She shows up, and Adonis is there. Adonis is like, what's up, sexy bitches? And she's like, he's so gross, but he is pretty sexy. And her friend is like, I want to fuck him so bad. And they're just horny.
Are these grown men?
Yeah, these are grown people.
Like
college, and then the one is
Adonis?
a reporter. I assume Adonis is in his late 20s. He's been a reporter for a few years.
All right.
Not like 30 years.
Because I'm assuming Hades is a...
Younger than us, older than college. In the middle.
Hades even?
No, Hades has been around since the dawn of time.
Okay.
He's several millennia old.
All right.
In their story.
Definitely creepy.
Yeah, tens of thousands of years. Anyway, they go to this other god club. Lo and behold, somebody gives them drinks. I'm really simplifying this because it got weird. Somebody gives them drinks. Oh, how great. We got these drinks. Adonis tries to make a move on Persephone.
Ooh.
Not to worry. Who do you think shows up to this other god's place?
Stop it.
Boom, Hades.
And he protects her?
Oh, fuck yeah. He's like, hey, fuck off. Flicks him, and then Hades men, or guards, not just men, people haul off.
All right, I think I might be into Hades now.
Yeah, we're getting there.
I haven't even read the book.
He just carries her. He carries her out of that place. He's like, here, you need to sleep this off. This is bad news bears. So he like scoops her up, puts her in his Lamborghini limousine. It's actually a Lexus, if I remember correctly. It is said 1,000 times, but in my brain, it was a Lamborghini limousine because it's funnier that way. She's got to know his driver at this point because his driver's the one who keeps dropping her off at home. And she's like, oh, hello, you? And he's like, nice to see you. I wish you were in better spirits.
Did she wake up to like flowers or some like get well soon thing?
Just wait. He does not take her to her house.
Oh.
Yes. So they're in the automobile and she's like horny for him.
Oh, no.
And she's like, I'll make you worship me and I won't have to ask.
Who says that? She does?
She does. Persephone to Hades. Oh, yeah. And he's like, what are you talking about? And she's like, I'm a mow on that cock-a-doodle-doo. Like, yeah.
No.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, no, you wouldn't. Would you? Like, they kind of go back and forth a little bit. And then she wakes up and she's like, there's bruising. There's 10 bruises? Oh, it's where his fingers. Yeah, it's where his fingers had gripped her booty. Just a little too tight.
They did fuck.
Nope. They did not fuck yet. It was just some booty gripping. Anyway, she wakes up in this bed and she's like, oh, bruises. Wait, why am I naked? And he's like, I had to get your nasty clothes off of you. And she's like, did we fuck? And he's like, no, but I had to get the...
Trust him.
Just wait. Because you are poisoned. It's a good thing that you're a goddess because otherwise you would have died. But your body, as it was working through that poison, it was kind of like you were roofied. She's like, oh, okay. And he's like, don't worry, I'll have clothes for you. And she's like, okay, good. They spend the rest of the day together, blah, blah, blah. He does several other sexy things. He's a sexy fellow.
If I was her mom and I found out he was hanging out with her, I'd lose my goddamn mind.
It happens. Not to worry.
Good.
But they spend a sexy few hours together. This woman comes to him and is like, I need you to save my babies. She's like, you can have my soul. I just want you to make sure that my daughter lives because her daughter's like terminally ill or something and she's young. They're very poor. And she's like, I just need to make a deal with you. And he's like, you don't have anything that I want from you.
Oh.
And that's where Miss Lady's like, that bitch. But not to worry. Hades' bodyguard, or not Hades' bodyguard. It is, who's the god who delivers messages?
Hermes.
So Hermes shows up and he's holding her back. He's like, don't go in there and yell at him. Just wait. And Hades is like, yes, you have nothing that I want, but you are not asking this out of selfishness. What I want is for your daughter to be healthy and for her to have a loving mother just like you, present in her life. So he heals the girl. And she's like, oh my God, Hades, that's so sexy that you would do this for that broken woman.
Shameless plug between chapters.
Want more daggers and shadow daddies? Get a month ahead of where you're at right now. Sign up for 1 month on Patreon and then cancel that shit after you binged it.
That was great.
I listen to a lot of podcasts. I know how their advertisements work, and this is what I wish they did. It was only 5 seconds long. Anyway, they go back and forth. Things are sexy. She goes and gets her outfit from the goddess lady who makes a special thing to glamour her so her mom won't notice her. They go to the dinner.
Is Hades invited to this dinner?
All the gods are invited. Hades is never photographed.
No?
Hades is never photographed there because he likes to be private. But this one is in honor of Hades. This whole dinner, this one, he's the god that they're honoring. And everybody's like, oh my God, who's here?
God.
Everybody's all excited. Yeah, right? Oh, everybody's going to be here. And our main girl Persephone's like, will Hades be here? And her friend's like, you dumb bitch, this whole thing is for Hades. Yes, he'll be here, but no, he's not going to show up with everybody else like Zeus and Athena and all of the others that are drinking in, the attention, because gods are attention-craving bitches.
Yes.
Hades does show up. Everybody else has gone inside. All of the reporters and everybody is left.
Except for her.
And who comes strolling up but Mr. Hades himself? And he's like, oh my God.
Oh my God, do they go in together?
No. Her article was published that morning.
Oh no, did she rewrite it?
She didn't get a chance to. She didn't turn it in to be published. Who did such a thing?
Adonis did it.
Adonis did it. Dun, dun, dun. Just to get back at her, Adonis was also fired from the workplace after this because she's like, what the fuck, Adonis? You published my article. He's like, it was a good article. I thought I'd hit publish for you and get it out there. The magazine has never sold this many copies before. Everybody wants to know about this crazy article, and this article is very, very critical of Hades. Hades shows up. He hasn't seen her since then.
Has he read the article?
Yeah, of course. Everybody in the entire world has read the article, and she's semi-famous now. It's like you've never heard of a newspaper article before, Adrian.
Everyone heard about it.
Everybody knows her, and everybody can pick her out of a crowd to ask her questions about the crazy article that she wrote.
She's already in disguise right now at this new party?
Well, now she's in disguise at this party, and not everybody knows exactly who she is, but also she is there as that journalist. So...
Oh, okay.
Don't worry about it.
She has a pen name?
No, she doesn't. Her mom's just not going to read the goddamn nameplates for who's sitting where, I guess. I don't understand why this was turned into what it was. Hades goes up there for his acceptance speech of all of these people showing up and give him all these great awards. And he's like, I want to bring up an article was written about me. He's like, and people are like, oh shit, she's going to get murdered. And he's like, she made some very valid points. I was a failure. I've done poorly, wasting my power and influence. I can be better. This is one of the ways I'm going to do it. Here's a foundation. He sets it up because she encouraged this nonsense. He's like, and I encourage all of us to be better gods. She's like, oh my God, my puss is throbbing from all the
really wants him.
Acknowledgement I'm getting. Post-party, she wants to bang him. I believe her mom sees through the glamour. She's just like, the fuck, bitch? I told you to stay away from people. Now you're writing articles on Hades. What are you doing? And she's like, Mommy, you're not the boss of me. And her mom's like, excuse me? And then she's like, I'm sorry, Mommy. You are the boss of me.
How do you think you got this goddamn job in office?
Oh, no, this is the thing. Her mom did not want her to be a reporter. So at the point of the story that I'm at now, they were in the underworld. No, 80%. This is as far as I got. I didn't feel compelled to finish the last 20. That's going to wait for next week. At the point in the story where I'm at now, they were doing something in the underworld. There was a bathhouse in play, and then they fuck.
And that's it? That you ended on a sex scene?
I think so. Okay. Yeah, maybe just post-sex scene.
All right.
But yeah, no, there was a lot of fucking happening.
Oh, a lot of it.
Yeah, no, I believe they fucked really, really, really intensely. And then there was some stuff that happened post-fucking. I don't necessarily remember what it all is other than Adonis wants his job back, and he somehow sent her a threatening note that was like, if you don't get me my job back, I'm going to release this information that you're actually a goddess and everybody will know.
How annoying, because he's the one that published it without permission.
Yeah, no, I mean, the correct thing is for him to be fired, but also you expect that guy then to not blackmail you?
Fair.
I don't know. It seems like that's the way this went.
I thought that their story was she's in love with another man and Hades takes her and that other man had to go down and get her and wasn't allowed to look back at her in order to rescue her.
Oh, you're thinking of Ophiuchus? I can't remember.
I think it's Orpheus, Persephone, and Hades because Hosier has a song about it.
Then he hasn't been introduced yet. But I also don't believe that Hades was in love with the woman in that story. I think it was to prove that the husband could not on faith take it that she was following behind him.
Let me look it up. I
Yes,
want to find the
please.
Hosier song.
Quickest way to find it.
That's how I'm going to get my facts about Greek mythology. Hosier.
Something I'm going to share quickly on this is I've butchered this story.
No, you did great. I loved it.
Well, if you actually read it, you'd think I really butchered this story. Greek mythology is a collection of stories that are not well organized, only slightly more so than Norse mythology. Therefore, the stories vary greatly. Tartarus is also hell, by the way, because that's where the Titans are locked up.
Oh, it's Orpheus and
Eurydice.
Eurydice? That's who I'm thinking of. She was taken by Hades, and Orpheus went down to make a deal with him. And he said that if you walk out without turning around, she will follow behind you, but you have to trust that she's there. And he turns around and sends her back. Oh, man, this whole time.
I told you
I
it
was
was
getting
not
about
Persephone. I'm like, Persephone
right.
and Hades are in love, but it's a weird...
But she actually wants him.
Yeah, but it's Stockholm Syndrome at first. He really has to push that. Like, I don't know. It's not the most awful book that we've read. By far, it's not the most awful book. It does a really shitty job at maintaining plot points that seem reasonable. Again, my biggest gripe about this is she's a goddamn intern. They act like this magazine has just Adonis and her and an assistant. I can't remember the
Who
assistant.
else do you need?
Clearly no one.
No one.
But nobody's doing real work. The fact that she happened to immediately write the most prolific article this magazine has ever had. So then she's just on Hades duty. Like, that's all her job is. After that article was published, her boss is like, hey, you wrote truth. And she's like, yeah, but you told me you didn't want some tabloidy bullshit. He's like, no, you expressed truth, and we've never peddled this many magazines. Or
I
papers
am
or
making a lot of money.
That's basically what it comes down to. So it's odd. In that sense, I'm not a fan of it. Also, the idea that, so she's homeschooled, then goes to college. Nobody has any real questions to figure out that she's a goddess. At one point, her glamour starts to slip. Her friend sees her eyeballs, and she's like, oh my God, are you sick? And I'm like, yeah, people's eyeballs often start glowing yellow as they're feeling unwell. What the fuck, man? There's no, I don't even know how to, there are so many really fun parts of this book and so many parts of it that are just garbage for me. And the romance aspect sucks.
Oh,
He's written like...
you had me convinced there even. And you're just retelling it.
Yeah, I think it is written in a way for that to work. If you've seen the show Lucifer...
I haven't, but I've wanted to.
It's basically how that works. It really is. I would recommend this book if you're just looking for something to listen to kill time. I believe this is 11 hours as an audiobook, and it will kill some of those hours. If you're looking for a well-written narrative and a plot that is really drags you in, it's not for me. I would, however, say I don't think it's the least compelling Greek mythology adaptation.
I was just going to say, when I talked to you earlier this week, you were hoping for more of a stronger following on the Greek rather than a retelling with its own spin to it.
Yeah, and I think it's okay to focus on the romance aspect because so much of Greek mythology involves romance. But the way this is done isn't my favorite. And this is nothing against the author. I think she probably nailed what she was shooting for. I think I just probably wasn't the target audience for it.
I don't think you were. Well, that was way more exciting than what I read this week.
Tell me about Undercover Amish People.
It is called Undercover in Amish Country. Oh
I feel like it's a stick-on beard.
But I don't even understand why it's called Undercover in Amish Country, because I guess at one point she dresses up like us normies, and they call them English people.
That is accurate.
Yes. But I've had my eye on this book for a little while each time we went to your grandma's house. And she's like, please, I've already read it. Please have it. And she gave me like 15 more books. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'll have the time. The way that I read this book, it's not how you're supposed to read a book. For entertainment purposes, I got what I wanted out of it. I only read the dialogue. Everything in between, no.
No set design in your head at all.
No.
Is this just happening in a blank space for you?
You get enough of it. Like, you'll see some of it of him talking about her beauty in his own head with some of it that way. So I did read some in between, but his battle and their inner monologues with each other, no, I just skipped it. I don't need to hear it. They're on a farm for a large majority of this while her life is in critical danger.
Take me through the beginning.
Well, let me just read the back part. Again, the title is Undercover in Amish Country. After she helped put her criminal husband behind bars, Blythe so-and-so thought she was safe until she's nearly kidnapped. Now danger is following her every move, and she's convinced the attacks are connected to her now dead husband. Her best chance at survival lies with the former Amish man who rescued her once before, Detective Sims. Sims? I don't know. He went by Sims the entire time. But when professional hitmen track her to Florida, Blythe and Sims must go undercover to figure out who's behind the relentless threats. Can they expose a sinister agenda before deadly enemies close in? This is a great recap of everything that happens, but it still does not prepare you for everything that happens. Everything that could go wrong went wrong. The cops, complete failures. Things got this bad because of the failures of the police in Florida.
Would you say it's a bit of an allegory?
For
law enforcement.
No,
Just
not
joking.
even. Like,
Just joking. If you're a cop, I'm sure you're doing a wonderful job.
This was so bad. Even one of them got shot at one point due
With the
to
cops?
Yeah. And we just kind of go by it. They're like, man down. And then we move on.
Well, yeah, what do you want them to do? Give you the perspective of the paramedic?
I even think we lost a paramedic at one point. There are a lot.
Are the cops shooting these guys?
of deaths.
What's happening?
Okay, starting this off, you have an Amish woman named Blythe, and she is with her aunt and uncle just after she sent her husband to jail. They're still technically married because in their community, you can't get divorced. So she turns him in for the crimes that he's
Would you say that she has a soul bond?
Yes. Yeah, she does. And she's just a young, I think she's got to be early 20s.
Smoking hot, though.
Yes.
They bring this up.
A
They're like,
dark-haired beauty.
Why don't you waddle that girdle on over here?
And she is dressed Amish. There's a lot of back and forth with how people, what stage they're at in their Amish journey.
It's like a mini Amish skirt?
No.
What would that be?
No.
Okay.
So at the beginning, she is dressed Amish. Her husband's in jail. And it's a really big deal. And she's kind of having this moment of, I can never meet somebody in my life because I'm married and he's in jail. This is my life now.
Did she start like looking at certain objects lustfully?
No.
Oh,
She
didn't like, she's like, I've been churning butter like nobody's business.
I don't even think she's living the Amish life necessarily right now.
Just observing custom?
Kind of. Her aunt and uncle, a new uncle, her aunt just married this man and she doesn't like him. Aunt and uncle go off on some vacation. So now she's by herself. And this is where the story really set in because she's by herself. She's thinking about, I'm a lonely young woman for the rest of my life. And this is just how things are now. Like, I'm just a bitch of a wife and I turn my husband in. All right, not that extreme. But anyways, two men show up knocking on the door. And she's thinking to herself of, oh my gosh, I'm really scared. They're probably after me. We're not even confirmed. She just busts out the back door and just starts running into the forest. These men chase after her and they're like, we just got to talk to you. We just got to talk to you. Chasing after her. She's in the woods. There's mud everywhere. But they actually grab her and hold on to her. And she's like fighting, kicking and screaming. They're like, your husband died. We just got to talk to you to tie up some loose ends. And she's kicking and screaming. I think she hits one in the side of the head with a rock as she runs away, right?
Oh.
So my perspective is I thought they weren't bad guys. I thought they were probably just people to tell you about the loss of your husband because he died in jail. But they did grab her, which is weird. I will give her that one. I just think she was a little skittish at the beginning to just sprint off into the woods and just take off.
She saw the look in their eye.
Yeah, she is talking about the trauma that she has of turning him in. So that happens. She runs away and she calls the detective that helped her turn in her husband back in Florida. She's like up in New York right now.
So he's a PI. Not a detective.
They say detective. He works for the police department or something.
He's a little out of his fucking jurisdiction.
He frequently is. And later he even says, like, I will lose my job to make sure that you're safe. He'll do anything to keep her safe. But that's later. At this point, he's just an ex-business partner who helped her turn in her husband.
Wait, he's an ex-business partner of her husband who turned into a detective?
No, I mean, like, it's all business.
Oh, okay. All right, I understand.
Yeah.
She was a person in need of his assistance before. And he's like, once a client, not really a client because you're a detective, but once a victim, always a victim, I guess.
No. But some people actually say something like that about her. He's like, you sure you want to get caught up in her? She's got a lot of shit going on. After like 30 people have died right now, I really don't even think that we are.
It sounds like he was getting good advice.
I do think so.
She's a goddamn black widow. You better keep your distance, homie.
But right now, we just had these two guys that got started with this whole story. So she's running off, I think, to like a payphone.
When does this story take place?
What do you mean? Like modern time, like right now time.
Where the fuck would I find a payphone?
I don't think she had a cell phone.
Well, no, she's Amish.
Yeah.
But she's got quarters in her bonnet?
I read the dialogue.
Remembers
that
collect
was
calling.
Probably in the in-between.
Okay, I like it.
But the detective is ex-Amish. He's no longer with the community, but he's very
Is his
familiar.
name Jedediah?
His name is Simmons.
Yeah, but what's his first name? I think that's the one that would
I don't know.
give us
He
more of a
goes by
clue.
Sims
Something
this entire
biblical.
time.
Okay.
Let me get my notes to make sure I'm getting these details right. I haven't even told you the best part.
Can I take
the
a
husband.
guess? Oh.
What do you think this husband's in jail for?
Embezzling money from the Amish community.
No. All we know is she's married Hayden 4 years ago, thinking she'd have a good life and be able to get away from her resentful auntie's constant wrath. But she's gone from bad to worse when Hayden had moved her to Pinecraft, Florida. So that's where she's now with her aunt after she got him turned into jail. But she was living down in Florida, and that's where the detective's at that was helping her with this case, where her husband moves her to Florida, and she become a prisoner in her own home after finding out he wasn't just the owner of a successful propane company. Her older husband had been involved in price gouging and smuggling, along with other crimes, including murdering those who crossed him.
Wait, why the fuck are we even talking about price gouging when murder is also on the table?
No, and that was like an other and some murdering. Don't mind it.
But the big problem is he fucked Hank Hill at a commission.
This entire story, keep in mind, he is a propane tank company
All
owner.
I'm hearing is
That
Hank
is it.
Hill.
Price gouging.
Damn it, Bobby.
And I don't even know what he's smuggling. We don't know. It's just smuggling. And she worked with a detective to keep her safe while she gave testimonies to get him in jail and whatnot, right?
That makes sense.
Yes.
For the murders or the price gouging, where she was like, see the place across the street? They were at $2 less.
We don't know. But whatever he did, he was in some deep shit. But the amount of money this man's making with his propane company and what other
And murder.
smuggling and murder. No, but I feel like he has to pay for the murder. So that's an expense. The money making is the propane company and smuggling.
Well, they don't discuss how the murder's happening. Perhaps he's making it look like an accident and people's houses are blowing up. Those are people he's already employing and people are paying him to have those people killed.
Fair. But what I get from the murdering is that he's paying for the murders to be done. Anyone who crosses him, he's murdering.
Cut him off in traffic. He's just repeating license plates on his head until he realizes them.
That's this guy. He's a bad guy, and she turned him in. She's just trying to do the right thing. He dies in jail.
Does he really?
Yeah, he does.
Oh,
of
okay.
a heart condition. And she's suspicious
Holy
of it.
shit, yeah.
Yeah. But he, as we just learned, he is an older man. Which kind of comes in play later.
I might add, this mirrors a story of a certain New York financier.
Epstein. It is a bit of an Epstein vibe that we're getting, but propane company.
Sure. Well, that's what Epstein started off.
So every time, anytime the husband was brought up, I'm like, He owns a propane company, though.
He couldn't possibly be out murdering people.
So yeah, the two men show up telling her he actually died, chase her into the woods, saying they just want to talk and they won't hurt her, but they do grab her. She escapes and calls the handsome detective who helped her put her husband in jail. He's ex-Amish and attracted to her. He's thinking this when he's like, oh no, this woman. So he doesn't like taking calls at night and the phone's ringing and ringing and ringing. He's like, oh my God. And he's like, oh, it's her. And he like wakes up and he like takes her call type of deal. So he's just like, beautiful woman.
She's got fuck me eyes.
She's...
Because that's what you can see.
But he doesn't think that. He's very respectful.
Well, he thinks that.
He's very respectful.
To be fair. Well, okay.
He's a good man. He doesn't think like that. So
okay.
He's attracted to her. He thinks that. And he tells her, get to safety. I'm going to come up and I'll come help you. And he gets in his muscle car to go help her. And I'm not
What
joking.
kind of muscle car?
That's all it is. It's written just like that. Muscle car.
I love
You
it.
get to fill in the details, whatever you want, but it's muscle car.
Well, can you describe this man to me in other detail and we'll determine what kind of car he drives?
No, I can't.
How long does it take him to get there?
Man, ex-Amish man.
Oh, ex-Amish. What's the Clydesdale of muscle cars?
And it's not even stated. It probably is stated. Again, I only read the dialogue.
Wait, he's a detective, so he's a cop, which means he's kind of like a military guy, which means it's either a Mustang or a Camaro.
Yes.
How long has he been a detective?
This car is so loud, it actually helps him when he shows up to rescue her later.
Well, then it's not a Camaro. We'll go with a Mustang.
So he arrives just in time as one of the men that were at that house there catches up to her. She's just been waiting out at a bus stop and he shows up along with that other guy, and this guy comes up to her and he pulls out a gun and he's aiming it at her and she's like, ah! But who shows up just in time? Detective in his loud muscle car that's so loud it startles the man that he turns and he looks, and now he's shooting at the detective, and that's obviously scary for her. She's like, oh my God, like, you're putting your life at risk for me. This is what you're doing. Does he drive away? No. He gets out and he shoots back.
He opens the door while people are shooting at him?
We're at a bus stop at night. I don't think there's that many people here.
Well, I'm just pointing out, if somebody's shooting at you, you're opening the door, exposing more of you. He gets out as opposed to just shooting through the window?
I don't know.
What is he hoping to get?
Again,
you know what? It's a Chevelle. It was a big block Chevelle. It backfired. That startled the guy.
Yeah, because he turns, he looks, he's now shooting at the detective. He just misses. Nothing lands. I don't even think the car
Stormtrooper
got hit.
Oh, wow. This guy's bad.
That bad.
This is a wide-ass street.
Detective gets out. He shoots him. Guy down. He runs to the girl. And now he's on his phone and he's calling. This guy's got a cell phone.
Good.
Because he's
ex-Amish.
Exactly. Get in the car. We're getting you to safety.
And she's like, no, the radio's on. Just joking. You know what? I'm not. If I've offended an Amish person in this, no hate against the Amish, but if you're listening to this, you should stop. This isn't for you.
Where was I in the story?
He got out, downed the guy, got on his phone and called the police.
Right. So he arrives just in time as the man was pulling the gun on her, and his loud car pulled up. Detective actually shot the guy. He's down. And she says, you came. And he's like, I said I would. Get in the car. And he calls the cops like, guys, you got to go get him. He's down, but I got to get her to safety. So his roaring car is taking her back down to Florida, wherever the hell I don't even know where.
He's transporting her all the way to Florida?
Back to his house.
After he shot a man in that jurisdiction? Does that come back and haunt him at all?
I have wondered if she got to a bus, like she took buses all the way down to Florida. And she was at the last one. And yeah, I do think that's what happened. I think she just started going towards him already because that's where she felt safest. And he's like, stay there. And I think she was already in Florida, in the city, and she needed a ride to safety.
Does it ever come back to him shooting somebody and the police needing to discuss this with him?
Yes, it does come back later, but I can't tell you about it yet.
Okay.
So he calls the cops. He gets her to his place. But she's not allowed to stay the night there. 2 single men. She's actually a married woman. No, she's not even sure that her husband actually died. She hasn't heard this from a valid person.
Does that release her from the marriage contract? Is it just until death do them part?
Yes,
okay.
After they die.
Okay.
So this was needed for the story to continue.
That makes sense.
But at this point, she's like, I can't stay here. You know, this isn't appropriate. He's like, not to worry. I'll have one of my female officers come stay here tonight. And she's an English person. She shows up. She's also very pretty, but I thought we were going to get more jealousy storyline going. No, just a beautiful woman who's a deputy. I don't know. With the police department. He takes her to safety. She's a single woman, so they can't stay together. Oh my goodness, I got the details wrong. He's the one that cares about her values. Oh, how romantic.
Yes.
Yeah, he's thinking about, I know you're Amish.
She's like, I just don't want to be murdered. And he's like, you won't be, baby, but it won't be because I'm here to protect you.
So she's like, I don't care about being proper when someone's tormenting me and trying to kill me. But he has the female officer say. They're at his house. After her little story happened, she hears in the news that his house got shot up. Like, his job is dangerous. People were after him. He's like, yeah, it was. And I even started on fire, but he did the renovations and he upped the security. So it's a very safe place for her to stay right now. And he was shot at some point in the line of duty. Even more heroic of an individual. Like, this is a good...
And he's got a scar. Because the bullet's still in there.
Exactly. At some point in their conversation, before the deputy got there, so it's just the two of them, they're doing the right thing by getting another woman to be in the same room with them. But she turned, she stared him down, and then tilted her head to the side. I won't go back to the swamp swim. I won't. So this is the dialogue.
I think you need to say it with a different inflection. I won't go back to the swamp swim. I won't do it. It reminds me of The Room. You know what I'm talking about, where Tommy Wiseau's like,
yes. Yeah.
I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark. That's this book.
Nice.
They now have a plan. We need to get you somewhere safe.
Yeah.
You can't stay at my house. This is not appropriate or proper or anything. And this deputy can't just give up whatever her life is going on with, right? We're going to take you to this Amish farm nearby in Florida that has like an orange grove. Massive Amish farm.
It's an orchard.
Yeah. But they keep using the word farm.
Oh, okay.
They have other produce there, I guess.
Makes sense. Maybe it's not all produce.
Exactly.
They've got wheat
but
and oranges.
But this does come up later, the produce here. Later. Part of the story.
That was another story we were going to read. Pounded by produce.
Oh, yeah. So they get in the car. He's going to take her to this farm. What do you know? There's men that found them. Now there's a car chase. Gunshots going on.
In the orchard?
No, on their way from his house to the farm.
Oh, are they still en route to the farm?
Yeah, they're on the route. And gunshots are going pow, 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 pow. And it's scary. It's intimidating, but he's still willing. We got to get you to safety. So they're driving and trying to lose him. This woman's life is in constant danger. These are new men. This is new groups of people. It's almost like somebody put out a hit on her and everybody is coming out of the woods to go after her. Terrible way of wording that. Goodness.
I'm starting to wonder if she wasn't the reason that people were being murdered. Maybe her husband was just trying to defend her.
They get injured. I think she gets injured during this car chase. Like, crashes the car.
She was driving?
Totals it. No.
Oh.
She's Amish. She doesn't know how to drive.
Well, neither does he, evidently.
He's ex-Amish, so he's pretty worldly at this point. They're driving. He's trying to get him to lose him. They wreck the car. So they have to go to the hospital. I'm guessing the chase ended. He must have actually gotten away from them. But anyways, they go to the hospital. She's healing up. Does he leave her side? No. He slept.
Carried her to the hospital? How the fuck did they get there if the car's crashed?
Ambulance.
Oh, ambulance shows up.
Actually evaded those who were shooting them.
And then he wrecked the car.
By trying to escape. Because the cops don't catch whoever was after them. At all.
No, they're awful.
The cops are terrible, but there were cops all involved in this, but he needed to be the one that rescued her.
Yes.
He gets away, car wreck, ambulance to the hospital.
He drives that ambulance after he's done giving her emergency treatment.
No.
And then they go there and he puts on his doctor cloak. What is that called again?
He stays with her the entire night. He sleeps, not a good rest in this chair, but it's super romantic as she's waking up. He's like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. He leaves to go talk about this case, and he's on a call with whoever his supervisor is, and they're talking about it.
Supervisor's in on it.
Honestly, I thought that the entire time. I thought the police department was so incompetent that there must be higher ups involved.
Yes.
They weren't.
Well, okay. All right. Never mind.
But there's clues all along. I think it's intentional to make you think the police department was in on it.
Yeah, they got me.
While he's out of the room, he's taking this call and he learns, hey, you know the man that you shot at that bus stop? You didn't kill him. He's like, oh, thank God. Like, I can't bring myself to kill someone. I'm glad to know that he didn't die. And they're like, but you should know he's at the same hospital as you guys. And he's like, wait, what? Yeah. And he's missing. He's like, oh no. So he runs to her room. She's gone.
No.
Mm-hmm.
But it's okay because she's an expert at identifying trouble just before it begins. Therefore, she escaped. The guy didn't actually get to her.
No, she's a bit of a damsel in distress this entire book.
No,
it's that bit of a plot line.
Oh, that sucks.
But Sims is filled with rage.
And sperm.
And, yeah. But at some point, he catches up to wherever they're at, and she gets the wrench out of this man's truck because he's opening the door to shove her in, and you have Sims who's like,
wait, he
let
just
her
keeps
go.
wrenches in his truck?
The man that kidnapped her, yeah.
He does not sound like a professional.
He's, honestly, you're right. He's, I think, an Amish man. I think Amish men are after her.
I feel like the Amish would be better at this.
But
First of all, why is he driving, if that's the case?
But he's not Amish. They can't be Amish. They're like English people, but you're right. They are just normal everyday
Maybe they're Pennsylvania
people.
Dutch or something, where they still operate equipment and drive.
Pennsylvania. That's where she was at. I don't think
Okay.
New York.
This makes sense.
But anyways, they're now in Florida. This entire storyline is, the majority of this is in Florida.
Makes sense. Not a lot of orchards in Pennsylvania.
So you have Sims there, guns drawn. He can't bring himself to shoot this man, like actually kill somebody without being prompted, only in self-defense. And he's like, let her go, let her go. And he opens the door to get her in. She sees a wrench. She grabs it, smacks him in the head. No, she smacks him in the bullet wound from earlier. Takes him down. She escapes. He's like, how'd you know to do it? She's like, I just saw it when it was there. So now police are involved again, and they're safe. So it's okay. But it doesn't end there.
You said 40 people die and 0 people have died other than her husband so far.
Honestly, you're probably right. I don't think anybody died.
Oh, okay, never mind. I
There's
was
a
waiting
lot
for there to be
of
like a
guns-
mass
There's a lot
murder.
of like people dying along the way. Like in the
Okay.
car chase, people are dying. Like there's a few cops have died.
Oh, shit.
I think other people along the sides in the story are dying. Like,
Pedestrians.
yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Like that's how dangerous this scene is.
This is wild. Yeah, continue.
I'm in shock. When I saw Undercover in Amish Country, I didn't think it was going to be the story. I didn't read the back. I should have. I wasn't prepared for any guns in this story at all. And we proceed to have 3 scenes now, and we're only in like chapter 5.
Wow.
A lot of violence is happening. But after that, there's another car chase because they're still trying to get her to this farm. Now they're being followed by a car in the same chapter of her just escaping from that man. They get in the car and he's like, I gotta take you to the farm. Another chase. Somebody else is following them. He loses them.
Which car is he driving?
The car that crashed earlier.
Oh,
the
shit.
muscle car.
Oh, goddamn. Okay.
Yes, this
Still
entire time.
operating. Look at him go.
Guess how they got out of this car chase, though?
He crashed the car again.
No, there's
Oh.
a sniper that took out the driver of that person that was following them.
It's a smoking aces scenario.
Not sure where the sniper came at. I'm just like, oh, wow. Whatever amount of money is put on her head, it's a lot. We know of people with experience.
It's a bounty.
Taking out other people to be the ones that get her.
Okay. Yeah. I'm
Yes.
digging this.
And she's completely clueless. She's like, why are they killing me? Other than my husband is a bad, bad man who owns a propane company.
Not anymore. He's dead now. You're a woman who owns a propane company.
She doesn't.
It's a shared marital asset. How did this happen?
Kind of.
What kind of shitty attorney did she have?
As far as she knows, she has nothing. As far as she knows.
Okay, she's secretly rich, but not as rich as the secret detective is, who actually owns an orchard. He must actually own the farm.
No, this is just some other good living Amish family. Completely unrelated. This is an Amish family that the detective trusts, and he usually takes troubled youth to so they can learn good living and how to work hard and turn their life around on this farm.
I don't know
That's
enough
where
about the
they're
Amish community to know how great of an idea this is. I have not personally run into a lot of rocket surgeons that are Amish people. I would say maybe the education is going to be a bit of a hang-up.
But when they get to the farm, he's just This is a good family that I trust to keep you safe. But the amount of times that they keep leaving locations and being followed, they don't change their plan on getting her to the farm. So
Yeah, well, it's a heavily fortified farm.
clearly surrounded by swamps. That part comes into play later.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, she says her husband has connections around the world and maybe should go into witness protection. They don't. She's just thinking this is probably a good idea because my husband has these connections. But again, this man owns a propane company in a small town in Florida.
Well, in a ring of smuggling.
I don't know what we're smuggling either.
Well, if it's in Florida, let's assume cocaine.
Sure.
Or people.
It has to
Perhaps
be.
it's human trafficking.
It has to be, but she never says any of this stuff.
Well, it'd be a little
says
heavy.
He's a bad man, and later this guy is in the truck with her, and he's asking her like, "Did he ever hurt you?" And she's like, "Yeah, he's hit me before." And he's filled with rage of just like, "Motherfucker,
I'm gonna go step on his corpse.
Yeah, because he's dead.
I spit on his headstone.
But like, I'm not seeing anything that is leading her husband to be this ultra rich man.
I don't think you understand. Propane, good business.
Clearly in Florida. So they're sending her to live with this Amish family. So now her and the detective are going to be apart, right? Because he's got to go back home. He's got other things to do.
Well, he's got to detect things.
Exactly. Once he gets her to safety, what is he needed for?
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
He needs to go and investigate who's coming after her. They got to be apart. On the way transporting her, shots are fired again, and he makes her drive. Does she know how to drive? No, because she's Amish. They're like, at some point out of the vehicle, he's like, get in. And she gets in the driver's seat. He's like, you gotta drive. And she does not know what she's doing, but she does an excellent job under pressure.
Good. I knew she would.
He gets shot, though, so he's in and out of it, passing out.
Oh, he's losing a lot of blood. He got shot somewhere quite important.
She doesn't know where to go. She's trying to figure out the location of this safe farm, and he's in and out of it.
Well, he just got shot. Maybe turn around and go back to the hospital.
I don't know, but I'm also confused because I thought he got shot, but yet he never goes to the hospital. So I don't know.
He's building up a bullet immunity.
Clearly, because he doesn't go to the hospital, but he's in and out of it. I don't know.
It's exposure therapy.
And then a car wreck. We have 2 car wrecks. Oh my God. Yeah, there's another car wreck in this. And they get her to the Amish couple eventually. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they escaped, how she did it. It didn't make sense in the moment, but she did a great job.
Evasive driving maneuvers.
Her first time driving.
It might have even been an advantage.
Clearly.
Because they cannot guess what she's about to do.
But they get her to the farm, and she cleans up. And she comes down the little house on the prairie style home. She's coming down the stairs after she cleaned up. And he's like, you cleaned up nice. And she's like blushing and whatnot. And it's cute.
And the little song Kiss Me is going in the background. Kiss me.
But they're not a thing also.
Starlight.
She's following the Amish life. The people in this house are following the Amish life. He's not. So the older couple that owns the home.
Get out.
They're like, you should meet our grown sons. We got 2 men that are very, I don't know the term.
Oh, to the girl.
To the girl.
I thought you were doing this to the
Sims.
I thought you were doing this to the detective, and they're like, detective, you should meet our sons.
No.
Like they were a very progressive Amish family.
Definitely not.
And they're like, you're gonna like these boys. If you think she's something, you should see the backstraps on our boys.
Yeah, because this detective, but these boys, they know how to work.
And they're homegrown.
Exactly. But I think that these men are also his friends.
Oh, he probably brought them there to be reformed.
Maybe. I don't know. No. These are the couple owns the house. They own the farm.
These are their biological children?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And they need a wife.
They need a wife.
Well, you know what I meant.
Wow.
So Sims is getting jealous, but Sims is friends with these guys also.
That's fair. So they've
Just,
measured
but not
penis. They all know each other's dick size.
Yep. Couple chapters of just living life on the farm. Sims isn't being a detective back in town. He's staying on this farm with them.
He has that kind of latitude.
And the whole purpose of these chapters is her seeing like what life could be. Like, I want this life, but I can't have it because of my husband, dead husband, and there are people after me. And then you have Detective, who is like, I kind of miss this life. And
He's
I could...
recommitting to Amishness?
No, not yet. But he likes the idea of just like this fantasy of living with her, but he can't have that life with her because of her husband and there are people after her.
Okay.
But they're playing the role because you're staying there and they're not paying, I don't believe. So they got to work the farm with them.
And he's very adept at milking the cows. And they're like, how'd you do that? He's like,
Amish.
years. Well, he also grew up a teenage boy at some point. He's like, I know how to milk this cow.
Shut up. What?
They're like, that's a bull. He's like, all I know is I got 2 gallons out of it.
Ew, no.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, we have several chapters of them just
Can I propose another guess?
pretending. Yeah.
Can I guess that her husband had a business partner? The business partner is trying to have her killed so that she has no interest in this insanely profitable company.
Nope. Gotta try again.
Wow. Is it a competing propane company that wants her out of the business?
No. What actually happens is way out of left field. It's like you have this entire storyline going that I'm sharing with you. And all of a sudden, the answer, the piece that is missing is just like, boom, just right there, just out of nowhere. And I haven't told you yet.
Okay, all right. So I should not currently be able to guess what's going on.
This, I'm in shock.
I guessed something earlier. Were you fucking with me that I was right or not right?
Oh, yeah. So before we came into here, I asked you, who saves the day? You're never going to guess who saves the day of this entire book. The last 5 pages, essentially, of what's solved.
Yes.
And you guessed...
a dog.
A dog. And that is fucking true. The dog saves the day.
Well, and it must. That's how this works.
So damsel in distress, it wasn't a man that saved her. It was a dog.
Honestly, better story for it.
Clearly.
I am so far.
Like, what the fuck
I'm just waiting for you to introduce the dog.
The dog does show up here soon, actually.
Is it an Amish dog or a city dog?
Amish dog.
Of course it
This
is.
is a dog that only stays outside, which plays into this. So we have a couple chapters of just living life on the farm. A young girl who's there, she's like, oh, is this your husband? Why, that was my old lady voice. Oops.
It's okay. I do it too.
And they're like, oh, no, we're just friends. Both of them get all stammery and nervous talking about it. And then this isn't the first person that is asking. At some point, he is talking about leaving because he's got a plan. I don't even think I wrote it down because I was confused why he's thinking about going and seeing his dad. Something about his Amish dad and his Amish brother, and he wants to go talk to him, and he's worried about leaving her at this farm alone. Clearly, it's a problem because he was supposed to leave already, and he hasn't. So now he calls the female cop from earlier to come keep her safe.
Okay. All right.
Female cop is back into this and staying with her.
And I'm starting to think that Janet's a part of the problem. I think Janet may be in on some nonsense, or is she actually good?
No, she's actually just
a good cop.
Lazy cop. She's not a good cop.
Oh, okay. There were no good cops in this story, were there?
They don't do anything. They're not bad, but they're also not effective.
Okay. All right.
At some point, we have Blythe, that's the name of the girl,
Yep.
talk to the female cop, and the female cop is kind of like, he clearly likes you. So we have those conversations going on. That's her only purpose.
Oh, okay, good.
That's it. Well, we find out husband died of a heart attack with no known heart issues. Quote, but evil could make a heart bad.
That's not medically how that works.
According to her, that's probably how it happened.
Wait, which her? The Amish?
The Amish
lady?
main female character.
So what I've learned is she wasn't like a doctor and then became Amish.
No.
She's pure Amish.
Yeah.
And I think probably a little stupid.
A little bit, yeah. Because
Okay.
she's like, but evil could make any heart go bad.
Yes, we all
And that
know how
is
Hitler
a-
died of a heart attack.
Direct quote from the book. So the dog accidentally gets in the house while her...
Wait, the dog accidentally did it, or the dog did it purposefully and they accidentally let it in?
This is kind of this is part of the plot.
Okay.
They find the dog and they're like, Boone, how did you get in here?
Somebody let the dog in. There's evil afoot.
They think someone let the dog in as a distraction, but they have no proof. So he goes home. She's sleeping, and she's talking to female cop, and she's like, I just don't feel, there's just something not right about how the dog got in. We have detective who went back home. He's laying down. He's like, something just isn't right about how the dog got in, because they go outside, they let the dog out, like everything's fine. Nothing really happens. They just close the door and they go about. There's no reason to be suspicious of the dog getting in.
Well, the dog doesn't have thumbs. How would he open the door? Somebody must have opened the door.
Farm with hundreds of people showing up.
Oh, there's hundreds of people that go here?
But there are a ton of people that are working on this farm.
Oh, this is a community. This is an entire Amish community.
Yes.
It's not just a singular Amish farm.
Yeah, you have like your main couple or whatever that they're staying in this house, but they're on like an Amish community. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Lots of people coming and going, but yet it's weird that the dog got in. I am just not informed.
Everybody knew the fucking rules, okay?
He's laying in bed and he's like, oh no, I think somebody let that dog in. What if somebody let that dog in? It distracted us while they were bugging the house. He's like, I already did a sweep of the house, but I haven't done a sweep after the dog got in the house. So he gets in his muscle car and he roaring back to the farm. He shows up and he's like, I got to check the house. Talks to the female cop. She's like, yeah, Blythe was also questioning things. He's like, Blythe, why didn't you tell me you were questioning things? She's like, well, I just didn't think.
I don't have a cell phone.
Yeah.
I was attempting to send you a telegram, but it was going to wait until tomorrow.
It's like, I just thought it was my trauma response to all of this is pretty much what she's blaming it on, and her worry on her husband, and that it was just all in her head. So he searches his house. What do you think he finds in this house?
Bugs.
No, worse.
Oh, a person.
Worse.
Her husband.
Ryan, the absurdity, we've had 5 cards.
Is it a cat typing out a transcription of what's happening?
No, we had a sniper at some point, so we got military level.
We have a ninja.
We have C4 bomb in the closet.
Wait, we have C4 in the closet?
Yes. I'm not fucking kidding. There is a C4 little thing.
Like a claymore.
Small. Yeah.
Just waiting for somebody to open the closet? How did he not detonate this?
They had to get a bomb squad.
Well, how did he know it was there?
He's searching the house for bugs and he finds a fucking bomb in the closet. Her closet. That somebody snuck in, placed very quickly in the time that a dog startled them in some other room. And like, oh, we better put the dog outside.
So I was kind of right. It was sort of a ninja. It was a bomb ninja.
Yeah.
Wow.
A fucking bomb at this point. I'm like, we got snipers. And so, yeah, they're like, there's a sniper. We got a bomb. We got military level involvement. Some ex-military person is clearly, in the end, that's not answered.
Well, it could be anyone with access to C4.
Yeah. So we got a fucking bomb. The turns this book is taking you on.
I need you to keep moving me through this. This is good.
In the story?
I'm continuing. Yes, please. I need to know what happens.
What do you think happens? I'm curious what you're thinking now.
In the end, or just more immediately?
Yeah, in the end. What do you think it is? Because we're about to learn something also that has nothing to do with the story other than just gets you thinking.
I think in the end, this is a plot for people to take her company that she owns now that her husband's dead. And for whatever reason, whatever he was smuggling, there's some overarching great interest in. And I think the detective is vaguely aware of what her husband was up to, even beyond what they found him guilty for in court. And that's why he's taken such a special interest in her. He sees her as the victim that she is. And then she realizes that she's rich now. They can sell that company, take over this Amish farm that's going under that they're staying at.
No.
And then they recommit their life to Amishness.
You're filling in
and they live almost happily ever after. And then she's pregnant. What happens? It's an evil baby. You can tell she's developed a heart murmur.
Way better story than what actually happened.
I hope that's not true.
Here's a quote of the military thing. Military grade C4 or Semtex. I don't know what Semtex is, but...
C4.
Yeah.
But I love that it's military grade as opposed to civilian grade C4.
At some point, she's talking to him and she's piecing some things together. Her best friend was in love with her husband. It was part of whatever crimes he was committing. So
She's Vigilane Maxwell.
yes, and she's in jail right now.
Also, Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yep. They're at 2 separate jails, 2 different prisons for
Well, he's
whatever's
in
going
a
on.
cemetery now.
Yeah, he died.
Did anybody go to his funeral? Did she address that at all?
No, there's too much chaos. When would she have time to go to a funeral?
Well, I feel like somebody should have gone. Like, do they have an obit or anything that
Also-
discusses his nefariousness?
Keep in mind, they find C4 in the fucking house. Do you think they move her to another
No,
location?
they moved the C4 out.
They just move
Then they
the
know that-
C4 out.
Well, because if you move her into another place, how do you know there's no C4 in that place?
Exactly.
We know this place doesn't have more of it. We found it.
We can't move her to an English farm. We got to keep her on the Amish farm.
In fairness, generally, I think that's good advice.
Well, we learned that her best friend was in love with her husband and she's in jail for 5 more years. And he's like, oh my gosh, is there some connection? She's like, yeah, they could have been talking. Maybe she's the reason that these men are after her. Is that best friend of hers? She's in her 20s. I'm assuming this is a young 20s girl that's in jail now for 5 more years. And he says, that's my girl, to her problem solving skills. That wasn't actually the fucking answer of the book.
Well, it's also not an answer to any question.
No.
I had a best friend who was in love with my husband. Right. What do you think this has to do with that? I don't. Well, what happens if you die? Well, the company goes to my next of kin, which would be my best friend.
So she's thinking her best friend was in contact with the husband and that he wasn't giving up the information of his hidden money. That's why they're after her, because everybody thinks that she knows where the money's at.
Yeah, but they're trying to shoot her. How would that accomplish her goal of telling them where the money is?
Well, this is kind of the thing. Nobody has shot at her. She got injured in the car accident. There was someone that held a gun to her and was saying, you need to come, we got to clean up some loose ends. The guys in the forest, they grabbed her.
All right.
And then the guy with the wrench, he was trying to get her in the truck.
That's fair. But they're all risking her being shot.
Yes.
Seems unnecessary. Also, you're encouraging her to end up in a car accident, in a muscle car, which I don't want to be an asshole about this. I have a muscle car, and muscle cars were not required to have the best of safety features.
Oh,
For
no.
instance, I have no airbags. My seatbelt only goes across my lap. I don't have a shoulder belt. I feel like these are things that they should be aware of while they're trying to crash her in this car. The fact that she survived last time means that everything went pretty well.
It's supposed to be a short episode, but I think we're long-winded. To make a short story long.
Indubitably.
So
Well, she is a best friend.
They think that's
Yes.
who is coming after her.
Orchestrating all of it.
Exactly. That's who they think it is. It's not. Who do you think it is? You're getting some more guesses. I'm allowing it.
It's her sister-in-law, brother-in-law,
Nope.
the detective's ex-wife,
He's never been married. This is a good, honest
detective's
man
parents.
who's just fallen off the trail a little bit. I don't know how to word shit. Damn it.
No, I think that's good.
But
He fell off the wagon,
yeah.
drawn by a horse.
They get the bomb squad out there, they get the C4 out, and they're back to Amish living, and both longing for the simple life that ended quickly with shots fired from the forest.
From the forest?
Yeah, because they're all surrounded in like this swampy, foresty area. So now there's shots coming out of the woods.
This is like Vietnam battle. That's what's happening right now.
And they're suspecting a mole on the inside.
Of her thigh?
I thought it was cops. Honestly, I thought it was the female cop or the supervisor the detective keeps calling and getting information from.
I think it's the Amish people.
It's fucking dumb who it was.
Oh my God. Is it another dog?
You've been introduced to this individual very briefly, just as I was. How he has all this intel,
It's the
I
doctor.
don't fucking know. He doesn't have information on any of their locations other than she was found at the bus stop. Somebody else must have been there, followed him to her house, and then followed her. They keep getting followed. So they need to find a better way to get her out of this situation. So his friend on the farm, that's one of the sons that I think that the parents are trying to hook her up with.
He's no good.
Yeah. His friend on the farm suggests he can keep her safe while handsome detective goes back home to talk to his brother / faithful Amish family / ex-military but I have no idea how this farm is going to keep them safe. For some reason, the detective is battling with this, I need to get in touch with my family. I think it's living on the farm is bringing up these old feelings of...
Could he have written a letter at this point? They've been there weeks, correct?
Yes, they have. But he's like, it's been so long that I've been a part of the Amish community. I don't think my family's going to accept me. And his friend is like, why wouldn't they? Like, of course they would. Like, you should go talk to him. We'll keep her safe here at the farm.
He's encouraging him to go away because he's a bad guy.
So that's what I thought. He's not.
Oh, fuck.
He's not.
Okay, you need to keep moving.
We now had C4 and shots fired on this farm and multiple car chases to this farm. He's like, dude, you gotta go back. Talk to your dad.
The only person who I can think of that you have introduced that we've actually met would be a doctor or a paramedic.
It's early.
Earlier?
Early.
Is it her lawyer?
I don't even know if she has one.
Well, she did.
So we have chapter 12 recaps everything. They think she knows where the secret money is. Again, not sure why a propane guy is so wealthy. She's like, I don't know where the money is at. And she's like, this is my life now. People are just going to be chasing after me for money that I don't have or know where it is. So building on the farm starts on fire. He never went to go see his dad. I think he was planning on it, and then this fire started. Shots fired again. I think people have died in each of these shots fired situations, but not her.
Okay.
At one point when they're in their Amish living life and having all these conversations about, simple life, what life's like, all that stuff, right?
Well, life on the farm was kind of laid back. Ain't much an old country boy, you gay hack.
That is like 5 chapters.
Early in the sack. Thank God I'm a country boy.
Exactly.
Well, a simple kind of life never did no harm or raising me a family and working on a farm. Kids are all... No?
Well, that's the life that this detective thinks that he now wants to have. And he never thought it was possible because he never found the right woman. But this girl might be it. But it'll never happen.
Okay.
Whatever. Anyways, there were 2 teen Amish boys that were like, weren't you the girl in the news who turned in the husband for blah, blah, blah? And she's like, yeah. And they're
Where the fuck did they see the news? Oh, papers.
No, they take the produce to locations. And that's when they get in touch with, oh my God, I can't.
Okay.
All right. No, there's more about the boys that I really hope to God I remember later to tell you, but I don't want to tell you right now and spoil things.
Understood.
But they go in to town doing the produce runs.
Delivery. Got it.
Exactly. And that's when they'll see the news type of thing. But it was still suspicious to the detective. He's
never been in a grocery store that has the news playing.
So now we have a barn on fire. Shots are being fired. And the teen boys are missing. He's like, it was a little weird that they knew about you and what you did. I wonder if they were the ones that let the dog in and brought in the C4. We have no reason to think this. They just say this. It sounds like conspiracy theory. It's just conspiracy the entire time, and it usually ends up being true.
Well, yeah, he's an excellent detective.
Exactly. And I'm like, why would we assume that they did this? There is no reason to think that they were a part of any of this. They're just gone right now.
You didn't see the look in their eyes.
So now he put a bolo out, and I'm not joking. It was written like that many, many times. And then later an Amish person says, what's that? And they're like, be on the lookout. I got one on the boys. And they...
Which is an actual term.
Exactly. Fair. Yep. But I kind of put it in the category of how he was talking about the C4, military grade C4 or Semtex. And then we just move on and never talk about it again.
Yeah. Why? Why did we bring this up?
So he puts out a thing trying to find the teen boys. Teen boys are with this older man who is the driver, right? Because they can't drive.
Okay.
So now they're like, we got to find these guys. They probably know something. Even if they weren't the ones who did it, I wonder if they know anything. So we got to figure that out. Now we put them to the side and we don't think about them again until the detective's boss calls him and gives him an update like usual. That's how we learn things. So after the fire, or during the fire, I think at this point, she's like, I need to leave Florida and this is just not safe. And Sims will follow her wherever she goes, even if it means losing his job. Do you think that they remove her from this farm?
No.
No, they don't. The fire hurt the dad of whoever they're staying with, right? So now he's injured. Who knew how to drive? Tomorrow, they have a produce drop-off that they got to get to a hotel. They like fresh orange juice every week. Who's going to do it?
Well, Sims.
Exactly. He's got to be the one that does it. But He can't leave her on the farm all by herself. So what do?
Bring her with.
Bring her with him so he can repay back. It's just the goodness of his heart and wanting that farm life. He's like, I got to do this. They've been treating me so good. You guys are doing great. I'll do the delivery for you. She can come with me, but to keep from getting caught, she needs to dress like an English person. So she's in a t-shirt and jeans, and her hair's down.
Whoa.
And he's eyeing her up.
He's like, those jeans are squeezing things in all the right places.
Mm-hmm. Quick editor's note, it's been a few hours, so if there's a change of pace and tone, that's all it is.
I want to hear more about this sexy ex-Amish detective who's looking for a way to save his girlfriend who's a goddamn bullet magnet. Take me down memory lane.
Now they're in a truck and they're headed on the delivery.
Do we know whose truck?
Yes, the dad's truck, the one that got injured in the fire.
But he was also Amish.
Yes.
So this is an Amish truck.
Were you not listening to this goddamn story? There's an Amish man who got injured, and that's why he needs to step up and take this truck of produce to a hotel that likes fresh orange juice
every week. I know. I did listen to you. I'm just questioning why the Amish guy has a truck, but none of the other Amish people know how to drive.
I don't know either.
He's the token Amish driver.
They also have other things that I didn't think that they would, like machinery. I don't know. I didn't think they had that either.
Yeah, I get the Amish and the Pennsylvania Dutch confused, and I'm not certain where the line between Hutterite Amish and Pennsylvania Dutch is.
Yeah, this is probably not the best source material to learn.
What was that Amish Mafia? Wasn't that a show? My grandpa used to watch that show.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah.
That's like in 2010 or something like that.
Yeah, in the glory years. That's where all of my knowledge of Amish people came. And then the Hutterites from when you get Coogan.
What would you need an Amish mafia for?
I don't know what you need any mafia for.
And bring them back?
What's the point of any mafia, really?
Honestly, maybe this is what it's based off of. When did this book come out? Because this is a goddamn mafia book, and I wasn't prepared.
Oh my God, it's the Amish mafia that's after?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. This is how we came to that conclusion. I love that I guessed so many things, and all it took me was this nonsense.
Yeah,
right.
He's owns a propane company, I guess.
They're in the Amish truck delivering fresh oranges.
Yes.
So that non-Amish people can squeeze them and make juice.
Well, sure. I don't know or care what they do with the fruit. All we care about
they prefer it's not full of bullet holes, I'm sure. Come on.
Yeah. They have their long ride, and he turns and he asks her about her husband. Has he hurt you? And it's awkward and silent, and she quietly says yes. And it's even more awkward because now he's filling with rage and she's having these memories, and he's kind of reassuring her it's going to be all right. And she's just like, no, you need to know. He hit me. And I am not downplaying DV, but just the fact that was all that was said. We know nothing of this man. Where is the money coming from? What has he done? Nothing. We don't get more husband backstory on how this situation came to be.
We get more husband backhand than backstory.
Yeah. We get that single line of he hurt me, and now Sims is raging. He's pissed. He's angry. He's now fueled to protect her even more.
Is it just her that he cares about?
Yes.
Good. I was worried that he would have interests outside of her.
Well, and they play on this several times of, I know you're just doing your job. And he's like, yeah, as if he would do this for any man or woman.
Well, he's using one of the other people as just a bullet sponge to protect her. He's grabbing children and he's like, I can use these more easily to shield you. Cover yourself in toddlers.
No, but he's definitely this protective.
He's a protective detective?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
And,
like a spyglass wrapped in a condom. He's a protective detective.
oh my God.
No, all right. I don't know why a spyglass seems a detective thing.
I didn't understand that either. After they drop off the produce, that all went great, actually. And it's this moment of him really getting back to his roots of working.
I'm good at leaving produce at hotels.
Exactly.
You need crates of oranges dropped somewhere? I'm your guy.
He misses this lifestyle.
I like to think he's wearing a straw hat. He's dressed like an Amish person, but she's dressed like a
Oh my God, I think
English
that's right.
person.
Yeah, because he's pretending to be the regular driver and she's just, I don't know why they would assume that you would have an English woman.
If this were an 80s movie, they would have looked at each other up and down and been like, I have an idea. And then they would have switched clothes and he would have been wearing like an Amish dress. And they'd have looked at each other again and be like, oops, so close.
That's a way better plan than what happened.
Oh.
Because they repeatedly bring her back to this farm and we've now had how many incidences on this farm?
Well, several, but the Amish were bored. And you know what? It's only going to take them 3 hours to put that whole fucking barn back together that was burned down. They are an incredibly industrious people.
That would have been a hilarious detail that when they get back,
63 Amish people have already got the barn fixed again. That's exactly what it should have been. Like, what happened? Well, we were building the Amish fireplaces, and it got a little out of hand. I don't know why I think they talk like that.
But we learned something. After he gets done dropping off the produce, they're not back in the truck yet. He gets a call, so he has to walk away. He gets a call from his boss.
On the phone near her? Is he worried that she will get infected with technology?
I think he likes to withhold information and be the one that gives it to her, so she's not eavesdropping.
He gives it to her.
Right. We learn that the driver that was with the young boys is dead. Big deal. Big things happening.
Wasn't he their father?
Boys? No, I don't know. He was just
I
a
thought he
driver.
was their dad.
They didn't know how to drive, I think, and so he was with them, but he's dead.
Oh, shit. How did he go? Heart disease?
Gunshot.
Well, that's how the other guy went.
Also, what they learn in this phone call, because he's withholding the information, she's like, clearly you know something because you seem really quiet. You're not talking. He's like, yeah, I got to tell you. First, he tells her about the guy that got shot. And then he's like, also, your husband has an illegitimate son who is responsible for all of these attacks.
Oh, no. Ezekiel.
We're like 75% of the way through the book, and we've been assuming it was the girlfriend that's been in jail. And even before that, that was just based off of made up information. Like, we still don't know. And I was in shock. I'm like, we have a son. Where the hell did the son come from? Son was conceived during Rumspringa 20 years ago.
Oh, no. The son's her age.
Yes.
And he's murdered his father.
No, well, maybe. I don't know.
By giving him a heart attack and sending him a letter in jail saying, I'm your son.
Yep.
His dad's like, I'd rather kill myself than pay child support. And he ended himself.
So the guy was actually paying child support the whole time, and she didn't know.
But he's a wealthy propane tycoon.
Yes. Amish Mafia.
Yes, true.
So later, and I'm just going to tell it now because now we're to the point that you learn he has a fucking son that it was conceived during Rumspringa and that the guy just abandoned. So now you have a single mom and this son that always yearned to have this father. And because he couldn't have this, you know what he's going to get? He's going to get his money.
Okay.
The dad was paying child support this entire time. He's upset because his mom took that child support and put it away so it would build interest. And she also poured all of her money into whatever this account is that when he became 18, he could have all this money. His mom died. So now he's given all this money and he's spending it on
Hitmen
to go after her for money that she doesn't even have.
He's got to be about out of money anyway, because if she just put it in a savings account, even a high yield savings account, we're talking 1.2% interest, 1.6 if it was in an Ally diversified account years ago. But either way, 1.6% interest, let's say there was 5 million in there even at this point. That's not that many well-armed hitmen. But that's why he's got the B squad, I guess.
But these
are discount hitmen.
We have teenagers that brought in C4.
Where did they get it? We don't know.
We actually don't ever learn that. There was a sniper at one point also that took out a driver, but it was the driver of a bad guy as if he was competing.
Yeah,
Never
Smoking Aces. Have you seen that?
No.
You should watch that. It's this without the Amish. It's just a bunch of hitmen competing for a bounty.
I feel like with these books, you could just rewrite all these classics just from a different cultural point of being Amish.
Yeah, this is John Wick and Smoking Aces if it were hitmen. And instead of, well, this is better in a sense. A dog didn't die, her husband did.
Right.
And husbands are less valuable than dogs.
We also learned that the aunt and uncle from the beginning of the story are missing. These are the people she was staying with.
He's holding them hostage.
That's what we're assuming. Now, They got back in the truck after he dropped all of this information rather than letting her be a part of.
Why couldn't he drop this information while driving the truck? I also have to
Don't
ask.
know. So they get in the truck. Now they're headed back to the farm because they got to return the truck. It's not his, right?
He shows up and the Amish have fixed his
think,
car.
What do you think's going on when they're in this vehicle again?
Hand job.
Another car chase.
No. I assume it's Roadhead.
And there's gunshots on their way to return the truck, and they kiss. Oh, that's
and
right.
back shots.
No, before they got in the truck. So they've dropped off the oranges. He gives this big news, and now there's cars showing up somehow, but they have a moment of kissing before they get in the truck. 2 kisses. There's gunshots
like
going.
pecs going, or are they full on macking?
Full on macking.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for
She
them.
doesn't care. She's putting all
She's
that.
about to die.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's had her whole life to be Amish. Now she wants to, feel what it's like to be detected.
Yeah. So they have 2 deep, passionate kisses. There's gunshots and somehow a car chase before the kiss, and I was very lost. Doesn't even matter. So now they're running to get into the truck.
Again.
But they didn't really get into the truck. They're in a parking garage. A man is taunting them. Just this guy
You guys look
through.
stupid. Nice pants. Aren't you Amish?
They're trying to be.
It's so funny. Oh, what is that? A straw hat? Nice look, detective dipshit. Keep moving.
They're hiding him and the girl. They make a point to write in that there's like one person writing this.
No. This was clearly done by a consortium. The consortium of people who were part of the focus group for this particular
Then he
tale.
puts his finger up to her lips as they're hiding from this man in the parking lot. Just the touch, right? These subtle moments to keep her quiet. And the guy is doing this menacing speech as he's going through, like, come out, wherever you are, type of thing.
Is that menacing? That feels very much like hide and seek.
It was a game of hide and seek. And he says something about her aunt, and she gasps. And then he has to touch her lips again, right? Obviously, she's making
This time
sounds.
she licks his finger.
Ew, no.
Oh, okay.
So they learn that her aunt is a hostage and another girl who's from the farm. And it's starting to sound like the husband is the one that's out there and he's the bad guy. Remember at the beginning, I was like, she's staying with her aunt and her husband, but he's
But she doesn't like her uncle.
Yeah.
And her uncle is actually her stepson that she didn't know anything about.
No. That
Okay.
just sounds like where it was going. No, there's 2 bad guys actually involved. It's her uncle and then the illegitimate son. They're
Why do these
working
people
together.
both assume that she is rich? Because she is.
Because the
but we don't
husband's
know it yet.
rich.
Okay. But they don't know everything went to probate.
I don't know. At the very end, there's no fucking money. All this was
Really?
for no.
How does he get his car fixed? I don't think insurance covers bullet holes.
We'll get there.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
get there.
The Amish do it. Well, he's gone.
So the guy finds them because she's like making sounds of like, oh no, my aunt, where is she? And Sims gets shot.
Again?
Yeah.
Sims is riddled with holes.
But he didn't go to the hospital with the last one. I don't understand why he was passing out other than it was, I don't understand. That was not explained. He never got any medical care.
He has a phobia of blood, and when it stopped bleeding and he woke up, it didn't bother him anymore.
That must be it. But yeah, he's shot. End scene, right? Scary.
Oh.
Cut to the next scene. He's slowly waking up and he's trying to figure out where he's at and trying to figure out where Blythe is at. And he sees the dark, starry night and he hears water. Turns out he's in a boathouse. He's been moved. Still has his gunshot wound or whatever. I don't fucking know. And he's all tied up. That's another detail.
Are they
He's tied up.
coastal or is there a lake nearby?
They're in Florida. Must be
Yeah, but
near
There's
water.
a lot of inland Florida. Like there's a swamp near them. I would assume that's nowhere near the beach.
He was picked up and taken away. There's 2 masterminds in this story,
Okay.
right?
Neither one of them seem masterful.
Yeah. So he wakes up in a boathouse at night. He cuts loose from this deal, right? Whatever's tying him up. He finds like a rusty nail and then he hides himself in He pretends to still be tied up, waiting for somebody else to show up. I don't know for how long. It didn't seem like a great plan. Once you were loose, why wait for somebody to show up?
Well, you have to let them have their bad guy monologue so you can kick them in the mouth like Jean-Claude Van Damme.
That's exactly what happens,
My
but we're
boy.
not there yet. Then it cuts to Blythe. She's also tied up, and Danny Lewis is the name of the illegitimate son.
Please tell me she's in an airplane hangar.
No,
Damn it.
she is in some type of like barn thing in a swampy area, and she's trying to figure out where she's
Was it
at.
recently burned?
No.
We don't know this barn.
But she's like, I wonder if I'm near the farm. Why the fuck would you take her back to the farm? So she's wondering, am I close to so-and-so's farm? That might help with me getting out of this situation. We find out, yeah, he did. She's like off on the property. She's not that far from the property at all.
She's a stone's throw from where she wanted to be anyway.
Yeah.
So why even capture them? Why not just let them drive back to the farm and then split them up?
I don't know.
I feel like these guys don't know how Uber works, but really they just paid for twice the fuel.
That's a great point. So while she's tied up, we learn that the aunt's husband married the aunt to get close to Blythe, and he was promised a cut of the money from the illegitimate son.
Do we learn how much his cut is? Is it a
No.
percentage
It's
or a
clearly
flat
enough.
rate? Okay, well,
A cut of what money, we don't know, because
Nothing
there is no
from-
money.
nothing from nothing leaves nothing.
Yeah.
But you gotta have something.
This is the part of the story when she's tied up and she's talking to him and she's trying to get him talking, right? So she can figure out where she's at, how to get out of this situation. And that's why he's sharing what's going on with the aunt and what's going on with the money and the money that he got from his mother. His mother died. And she's like, yeah, just keep talking. This is giving me time. Yeah, he spent all his fucking money on hitmen. And it's like,
Ineffective hitman, I might add.
yeah.
He could have saved money and gone with one quality guy. Just saying, guys, quality, not quantity, is what matters in these situations. If you're going to have somebody killed, don't hire 20 people that are kind of shitty at their job. Hire one person that's very good at it.
And in the end, he ended up doing it himself.
Oh, he kills her?
No, I mean, as in getting her to
Oh.
the spot.
Well, I feel like the guy in the parking garage was a factor.
Now it's back to Sims. He's untied himself. He fakes being tied up. The bad uncle shows up. And
Bad
he's
uncle.
actually the mastermind of it all. And he was in a relationship with the illegitimate son's mother and was going to marry her, but he decided not to because he had a different plan in mind. He was going to get the money and he convinced the son, we're going to do this. So he marries the aunt to get to Blythe.
I'm trying to think of a biblical name that starts with a D. Little ditty about Jack and Daniel.
Yeah,
Let's go on and take the money and run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we learn that he's the masterminds, but Simmons was actually one step ahead of him, already untied. So he gets up and they're fighting and they're whatever on the docks. And now he's got him by like the shirt and he's holding him
Wait,
over.
who's got who by the shirt?
Obviously Sims.
Oh, okay,
the
I'm sorry.
detective.
You're right.
And he's got him hanging over the alligator infested waters. And he's like, tell me where they're at. He's like, you're not going to do it. You would never kill somebody because this whole time Sims has been battling with shooting somebody or hurting somebody, killing them.
He's like, I would never shoot someone, but I would feed a gator. He drops him.
In self-defense, he would do it, but he's like, in this moment, I'm not. And he's like, tell me. He's like, they're back at the farm over in this spot. I'm like, why the fuck would that's such a stupid plan?
That's like the first place you would look also.
Yeah. Does he drop him in the water? No. He brings him back and he ties him up.
This guy's
They
bad
did-
at his job.
They didn't even get into another little fisticuffs after he lifted him back up. No, he was willingly going back to the chair and got tied up.
I think I'd let a gator gnaw on that guy. If it
This
was
guy
me,
didn't.
it's not murder if he can't outrun a gator. You didn't feed him, put him in the mouth of the gator. You just allowed the gator and him an opportunity to see which one evolution favored.
Yes. So now he's got to call the cops to come pick him up. He was going to leave in the
And he's like, girl cop, I'm at the docks. And she's like, I know exactly where you are.
But she actually had nothing to do with any of this, but she did a terrible job the entire time.
Like the rest of them. Detective hasn't exactly killed it either.
Detective gets in his car and he's racing to wherever the hell the farm's at. Now, back to the farm. The dog from earlier comes in through the unlocked door and
He's always doing that.
yeah.
This guy's always using doors. You better not leave a door open. This dog's going to traipse
The
through.
dog shows up.
Is he dressed like people?
No.
Oh, that would have been
I
great.
don't know the dog's name, but I'm going to call him Boone. I think I did that earlier too. So she's like, Boone, you found me, right? Help me. Well, How does she escape? Boone thinks they're playing a game, so he's biting at the rope and he's tearing at it.
Oh, good. Boone's violent.
So Boone unties her by ripping at the ropes until she's loose.
Yeah, buddy. Air Bud style.
And she's like, keep going, Boone, keep going.
And Boone's like, this is hard. And Boone goes and gets a gun. And he's like, I'll just kill that guy for you. And
It's as believable.
Boone was actually the sniper the whole time.
The whole
He was taking out
time.
the bad guys who were trying to get her.
Do you remember that silly little clip of where they have a guy dressed up as a dog in like this 70s era TV show and he stands up and he punches the man?
First of all, yes, I
It's
do.
like one of those mop dogs.
Yes, it was. God damn it. It's a British show. What the hell was this?
Oh, it doesn't even matter. That's what I'm picturing, this level of activity from this dog.
I picture it like Wilfred,
Yes.
where it's just clearly a man dressed as a dog.
So she's now loose and with the dog, and she's
And the
like-
dog is also loose
yeah, he
in the
he
place
found her.
because the door was left open.
And she's trying to escape. Of course, the door is unlocked. Her and the dog go outside, and she's like, I just gotta run. And she's in the swampy area, waist deep, alligator infested thing, and the dog is just swimming to the shore. Now you have Danny back over where
Who's
the hell-
Danny?
He's the illegitimate
Oh,
son.
okay. I don't think we'd heard his name yet.
I don't say names many times. I said it once, and that's all you got.
Okay, we got Boone and Dan.
I learned
So
about
just
him.
Daniel Boone.
Yes. So he's just like, Blythe, you're gonna die out there. You might as well come back. And she's like, no, I gotta do what's best. I don't fucking know. It was so dramatic and so silly. She doesn't know where she's going, but she's gonna trust Boone and follow him. So she's running. He's like, get back here. And now he's shooting at her like, pow, 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 pow. And the dog doesn't leave her side. And then she gets through the water and they're running, right?
Yeah.
There's the farm.
Oh, it's there?
I think he was on the goddamn farm.
He was just. Well, what kind of farm is on a swamp? I stand by this.
A Florida one,
Is this fucking Shrek's farm? What's happening here?
pretty much. And now you have the girl that she thought
What's her
was
name?
kidnapped. It was just some girl that was there on the farm that she thought he was kidnapped, because when they were back in the parking lot, he's like, I've got so-and-so. And she's like, no.
It's
I
her
don't know.
aunt?
It was just some girl on the farm that she cared about because she's a girl. I don't know. And then we find out the aunt was never kidnapped.
So the aunt's still at large.
No, the aunt figured out her husband was doing some shit, right? And so she just ran away.
Is she on
She's
another
safe.
Amish farm? Is there a sequel?
She's safe. There are sequels to this, but I think it's
So Boone is safe,
Boone saved the day.
but he's also
untied
safe
her
at the
and
end. He
brought
didn't
her-
get
no.
winged by a stray
Nope.
bullet or anything.
Nope. And Sims is there because he showed up at the same time. He's like, I saw you in the swamp. I was like, what? You saw her in the swamp?
The dead of night in a swamp. I don't trust Sims either. I think he's a plant, and I might add, he did zero detecting in this book.
But the guy, Danny, is shooting at her, and we don't mention the gunshots. Like, I heard the gunshots, and then I came this way. I'm so glad you're
Well, first
safe.
of all, why would you run toward them?
Because
Gunshots. I'm not running.
he's constantly putting himself in the face of danger to save her.
Well, no, he's constantly in the face of danger because she is near. These are the
Alright,
different
fine.
things happening.
So yeah, the guy took her to a place very close to the farm that she's been staying at. Now, everything's come to an end because everyone's been arrested. The uncle and the illegitimate son have been arrested. So she's safe. The hitmen have quit.
Did they check him for cyanide pills to make sure they didn't pull a fakie on him?
They're in jail. It's a happy ending.
Yeah, but the last guy that went to jail, he died of a heart attack.
But he was sentenced. He was there.
Oh, due
He-
process.
Yes. Yep.
You know
he
what?
did.
I appreciate that they're going to go through the effort of that.
Yep. Now weeks have gone by. She's been living on the farm.
Oh, good.
She hasn't seen Sims this entire time.
Well, yeah, his fucking job is done. He's off now living with some other woman on a different Amish farm protecting her.
As he would anybody else.
That's correct.
No. Weeks go by. She's living on the farm. Sims is back at work. And that young girl that we thought was kidnapped earlier that never actually was, she comes in. She's like, hey, I want you to look at something in the barn. I don't know what it was about. Something about, I think, a sheep.
This sheep has a huge penis. I need you to go check it out.
And she's like, okay, yeah. So she goes out to the barn and she sees an Amish man turned around back to her.
Oh, and Sims, because he's reconverted.
Yes. And he turns around and it's Sims in his Amish attire. And she's like, what are you doing here? And he confesses his love to her, that he wants to marry her, and that he's quit his job to be a security guard on the farm and live their days there.
It's a very successful farm.
Incredible.
To have a full-time security guard employed?
I guess I thought the propane company was more successful in whatever smuggling ring they had going on there.
I believe they were smuggling fruit for the Amish.
Clearly.
Seems to be the way this had to come full circle.
And that's the end of the book.
Well, I think that was enough. They covered all their bases. Not a plot hole to be seen.
None. Absolutely nothing.
Honestly, I think your book might have been better than mine were.
It was great. I was laughing. It was hilarious. Like, just the surprise. He has an illegitimate son. 75% through?
Also, the man played absolutely no part in this other than one evil monologue.
Yep. 2. In the parking lot and in the...
Oh, the son was the one in the parking lot?
No, it might have been in the uncle. That's how she found out about the uncle. Yeah, I think that was him there.
Okay. You know, I like this book. I think I'll read this one.
Have fun.
I'll read the sequel, where Sims is now the Amish guy, delivers fruit professionally, but there's another detective who needs to hide another woman because witness protection is not a real thing in this world. Also, I think Sims maybe just got fired.
He said it was worth it if he did.
Yeah, but he was a garbage detective. He figured nothing out.
You're right. He solved
Never once
nothing.
did he detect anything.
You're right, because he either got phone calls or she gave him information. Like, I think it's my ex-best friend who loved my husband. He's like, good girl or smart girl, some shit like that.
You have a real future being a detective.
And then, everything else, yeah, he would get calls from his boss that would give him updates.
Yeah, no, he seemed like an absolutely garbage detective.
And now he's a security guard on an Amish farm.
Yeah, and I don't know that he's going to be good at that either. He didn't guard her well. He got shot twice. She got winged.
Yep.
She was literally kidnapped twice under his watch.
Fair.
I don't think he's good at any of these things. He sounds passionate.
Very.
That's all he's really got going for him. But also his ability to immediately fall in love with a woman he doesn't really know.
Well, they knew each other because he was there protecting her and part of the detective work of getting her husband in jail.
Okay, yeah.
So there's almost
But he knew her semi-passively while she was a married woman.
Yes.
And I might also add, she could not be made to testify against her husband.
But she wanted to. She wanted to take him down.
Don't you think the court would look at that a little funny? It's very rare to see a husband and wife testify against one.
What little information we have, what I got from it was detective and cops were going after her husband and she had the information to take him down.
So what we've learned is she's not loyal and he's a detective that likes to get too friendly with his people. And he's not very good at being a detective or a bodyguard or an Amish person.
So yeah, overall, what your grandma's reading is great. That was fun.
To be honest, I'm a little jealous.
This is...
The garbage I was reading, not this much fun.
I had a blast. And it was only like probably 2 hours.
And
to
2 kisses.
it.
2 kisses in it. That's the perfect amount of kisses in a book.
Yep. And physical touch was needing to hide, so they had to be close to each other. And
like she didn't just like rub her tits on him and then be like, yeah, you like that?
no, it's all very subtle. It's definitely a Christian book.
I kind of like that. I could go for that in lieu of some of the things where they're dropping the P word like it's not a dirty word. I'm just saying.
But yeah, I would say that was a fun book. I needed a short little break in between to give me a little bit of a breather catching up on some tasks. And this was a great filler.
I really enjoyed hearing this book come from you.
And if anybody listening really enjoyed it, please let us know and we can do more bonus content like this. It was fun, but at the same time...
If you didn't enjoy it, too bad.
You made it this far. You did.
We know what you like. It was a great time.
I love you.
I love you.
You're my bestie.
You're my bestie. Open your legs and close your books. It's over.
No.
Thank you guys for supporting us. It's been a good time. If you'd like more,
follow us here, TikTok or Instagram. Fable, if you want to join our book club. Patreon, if you want episodes early.
dropping on Tuesdays if you're into that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah. Episodes are releasing on Tuesdays. If there's a two-parter, it's going to be on Thursdays.
We accept 5-star reviews and nothing less. If you leave something less, you're a motherfucker.
No!
Oh.
Honest reviews.
Not that honest. Only leave a review if you're willing to be a 5-star honest person. Should we come up with something mean to say to him on the way out? I kind of want to pick on him.
No, I would say love you. Bye.
Oh, you can tell him that you love him.
Okay.
I won't.
Love you guys before Ryan bullies you out of here.
I'm fine with most of you. I love you, bye.